My name is Coach Maina Azimio. I am a wellness coach. I train people on how to take care of their health because your health is your wealth. Without good health, everything else becomes irrelevant. I came to learn about Centonomy way back in 2013, and I joined the first training on Financial 101 in 2014. So from that time, I am subscribed to the articles and also YouTube. So I normally get information from Centonomy. I had been planning for my retirement because now I have come to the age that I need to retire and enjoy my life. I realize that my age mates are retiring from business. Jack Ma is my age mate. Jeff Bezos is my age mate. They retired from their businesses. I also have been planning to retire, but anytime that I want to do something that is structured, I remember Centonomy because when I came to learn about Centonomy, I was in business. They didn't teach me business, but they taught me how to take care of my money. And also the business money. I did Centonomy 101, which helped me to take care of my personal finances. Then I did Centonomy Entrepreneurship, which gave me structure for my business. I ceased becoming one and the same thing. So my business is a business, and I have several of them now. I separated my businesses, and I, as Maina Azimio, I am myself. So I have been earning a salary from the business, and I spend my salary and let the business run on their own. So when now I wanted to retire, I found that Centonomy have come up with a program of Centonomy Gold. I did not hesitate. I just paid and joined to learn how to structure my life in retirement. I've always been in Centonomy. I have done all the programs which are relevant to me that they have started. I am always among the first class to do it. So I have done all those courses, so I knew how they structure their courses. And this time when I went online, I had a challenge because I am old school. I am not well used to the digital space. Lucky enough, my daughter, my last born daughter, who is doing for the year in the university, they were also told to learn from home. So she was in the house when I was learning. So I got into the Centonomy class. At first, the first 2 lessons was a bit of a challenge to navigate through the digital space, but those were also introduction. So the actual training was very good for me because what I expected from Centonomy, they even exceeded it. I knew without a speck of doubt that I will learn how to structure my life in retirement. I had known, watching Sir Charles Jonjo, who is 102, I knew that I have got a longer life in retirement than the life I have lived, including when I was under my parents' care, when I was in school, and when I have been working. So life in retirement is much longer than life at work. So because now I'm about 57 years, to go to George's age, I'm going to live for another 60 years. So I knew that I could not be able to manage that without proper advice by experts. Lesson 1 and lesson 2, the introduction. The one that caught me proper was lifestyle audit. Lifestyle audit. Because I was using my knowledge from Centonomy 101 to take care of my money. I had been tracking my money. I learned how to track my money. So I know where my shillings go. And I had planned. I also knew about investing to get passive income. I have been working to bring my passive income to be more than my recurrent expenses. That I have done, and I have done a good job. I had put in structures to take care of my income, that to take care of me and my wife during my retirement. But one thing I had not done, how do I spend my time in retirement? Because I will not wake up to go to work the way I have been doing. What will I be doing? And I knew if I do not get engaged, I can slide into depression. This is becoming a very big issue in today's life. So I was worried and I was feeling uncomfortable because I didn't know exactly what I'll be doing. So when we did lifestyle audit, that was my aha moment, because I realized I have been tracking the money but not the hours. Washeke took us through and she was able to drill us into why time is equally important as the money. So that was, to me, a wake-up moment, and it refreshed me. And I went back to my drawing board to be able to organize how I'll spend my time. Then when Coach Rosemary came and she started training us through purpose, finding you, and looking at what skills that you have, looking at the gifts and talents that you have, and how you can monetize them. This, again, was very good for me. Lucky enough, when I came the first training in Centonomy 2014, Washeke asked me to speak on behalf of our class to share the experiences. Before then, I had not spoken in a public place. But when I did my sharing in Centonomy 101, the people who were in the hall at Louis Leakey in National Museum, they cheered up when I was sharing. And in fact, it's Washeke who discovered Maina Azimio, the speaker. I became a speaker from that time and have been invited to many places to go and share my experiences. And now I started sharing my experience in entrepreneurship. Having been in business for the last 30 years, I have accumulated a lot of knowledge in that space. Plus now what I learned how to structure my businesses in the right way in the Centonomy classes. That to me is what I have been planning to do during retirement, and now I got structure during this training. I am very happy that now I'm going out with confidence, knowing exactly what I need to do and also how to do it. Because knowing what you want to do but you don't know how to do it is not enough. Now I have the confidence that my time in retirement will not be much different than what I was doing when I was at work, because idleness, which was my main worry, is not an issue. The experiences that I had accumulated from 2014, because normally what I do, and from the day one, when I learn any of the lessons that we are taught, I start implementing on the same day. So what I was doing after my class, I was explaining to my wife what we learned, and we start implementing. So far, I have reorganized my finances so that they can be able to fit in, because when Waidaka came and he told us that we look at what percentage of interest investments are paying, especially on the money market. That's fixed deposit, bonds, we need stock exchange, and we found that it's between 6% and 10%. That's the highest. So how much money do I need to have invested, which can generate for me enough money to pay for my recurrent expenses? That was humongous. That kind of money is not easy to come by. And because at my age now I cannot do much to change the realities that I have, I realized that that area I should have been trained much earlier. I wish Centonomy taught me that in 2014 when I was doing Centonomy 101, because I would have started better that time. So what I did in my other engagement now, as a trainer, as a coach, as a mediator, I have been learning to build myself in personal development, and those areas are good because these are jobs that I am passionate about. It's not work for me. It is actually fun, and I am paid for it. So what I've done is that I have started marketing myself and branding myself so that I can now be called in to offer those services for a fee, of course. But I don't do them so much for money. But I have seen that there is a way I can be able to earn to add into my retirement package. Because I realized that with the way life is changing, and then we did about inflation, how inflation affects our money. Right now in Kenya, I'm sorry that we people who have retired and we are trying to live off our investments, inflation is taking away all the money that we are making from our investments. That means the money is not increasing, it is decreasing. And if we do not come up with different ways to make money, it will get to a point that you become a dependent again. And for me, that is what I was fearing most of the time in my life, a point that I can now slide back to become a dependent, having been the one who have been helping many other people, including my siblings, including my parents, including my friends. So I didn't want to get back to the situation that I am a dependent in my old age. So this training was actually just what I needed at the nick of time. And right now, what I'm doing is that I am now reorganizing my retirement life in a way that even when there are shocks like COVID, because this COVID-19, when COVID-21 comes, I'm ready for it. I'll become better than that. I have been doing reviews on what I had in my mind and what I need to do differently now. So since the time that we finished the training, I have started investing my money in projects that are long-term, that will be generating enough money to keep me going. I saw that the money that I had put in passive investment was not generating enough, especially now because property, most of them are not having tenants. People are working from home. And one of the areas that I had put money was in property. I have been doing hospitality. I have several units that I had prepared and I was renting them out to people who are coming on Airbnb and also medical tourism. But the way things have been the last 2 years, things have been tough. What I've done is that I have divested in some and got that money and invest them offshore. I came to realize that you can be able to invest offshore when you're in Kenya, because nowadays the digitization and the tech companies, especially the big tech companies, are paying very good dividends. I was able to learn how to do this. And because in our class we had people from diaspora, I saw the globalization. When we talk of global village, it will look like a very big aspiration, but it's the reality now. I was in class with people from US, several of them. I was in the same class at Centonomy Gold with people from UK, and we were learning together with them. We were not only people from Nairobi like it used to be when we were doing physical classes, because we had to go to class. Even I used to stop my work to go to Westlands to attend Centonomy classes. But now, you just log in from wherever you are and we learn together. So what I have done is that I have reorganized my investments to become global also. And I'm making better returns now. In fact, when I was doing my review for the last 2 months, I was able to increase my income by 8.7%. With 8.7% in a month, I'm sure by the time I'm half year, I will have hit about 20%, which to me is actually a positive, and it all came because of the lessons that we went through during this Centonomy Gold. I would like to advise my fellow entrepreneurs, because I come from entrepreneurship. I stopped working in 1994 and I started business. So being in the business world, I know we people in business, because most of the business people I associate with do not think about life after retirement. I want to advise that it is important that you start thinking about life after work, because you have also seen big companies failing like Nakumat. So if a business fails, how will you live? Because your life will have to continue. Structure your business in such a way that you also retire like Jack Ma, like Jeff Bezos. So I would like to advise my fellow people in business that it is time that we structure our life past retirement. And the best place to start is to get this training. Come to Centonomy Gold. It's one of the premier trainers, and they are very good. I have gone through the course. I would want you to know what I learned so that you can use it. And now, for me now, I know that when I was young, I was living large, and I was living for the day. I have now realized that if I can advise my younger self, I will tell Azimio that you should have known this information that time so that you start planning for your retirement from before. Because when you are old, you have got limited opportunities to reorganize your life because it takes time. It does not matter how hard you work, it takes time. You allow it to grow. So I want to tell the younger generation, start now. In fact, the moment you start earning, start planning from your retirement, because your old age will depend on what you did in your younger age. Otherwise, if you start at the late age, it becomes a bit difficult. And also when you don't have the resources to spend, because there's a relationship between your input and output. It's a percentage. Because the highest maybe you can get is 15%, not more than that. If you have 1 million, 15% of 1 million is 150. You cannot get 500 from 1 million. If you want to get 500,000 as the income, you need to invest 50 million. So for you to save 50 million, it takes time. So I should have been told this at an earlier age. And I request Centonomy, please have these courses coming earlier instead of waiting until when we are all like Maina Azimio, and that's the time you are showing me how to live in retirement. With what? I need to be able to know this earlier, save the money so that it can now be able to pay for my bills when I have stopped working, like I have done now. Life is how you make it. Because if you organize your life in a good way, you'll also enjoy it. The reason why we work hard when we are young is so that we can be able to live and enjoy. I am liking the way life is flowing nowadays because life longevity is a reality. In Kenya, we have got many people, quite a good number of people who are living 100 years or close to 100 years. But the problem is that politicians in Kenya, and the well, like Mudiawori, he's one of the wealthy people who has lived a long life and he's still radiant. Manu Chadaria is also in 90s. So there's a relationship between money and life longevity. We need to take care of our money so that they can afford us a good life. If you are living under stress of depravity, you will not live a long life. So let us not play around with money. Let us come to Centonomy and learn about financial management and how to create and multiply our money so that we can now be able to live a better life and a long life, because everybody aspires for a long life. In Japan, they are living to be 110. In America also, they have got very many people who are centenarians. Queen Elizabeth is 96 and she's still in office. So that is a very good example of life longevity. And finally, Genesis chapter 6 verse 3. God said that our days will be 120. He brought our life longevity from those 900 plus years, Akina Adam and Eve, all the way to Noah were living to 120 days. If you die at 60 or 70, you are shortchanging yourself. Why should you die before you begin living? Let's learn, do the right thing, and live to enjoy this world, because there are so many good things to enjoy in this world. Thank you.